uSports Central, Adam Deal, Charles, Ashley, Charles. We're talking about Cleveland and Rio Rancho, that matchup Friday. Excuse me. Look, Dusty Young is going to come clear a lot up for us on how all these tiebreakers work and how they could be seeded. He's going to step in right here, uSports Central, on Wednesday.
That would be fun. I hope people give us some
on
questions
how things are seeded.
Yes.
Right. So if you want something asked, let us know. We'll ask Dusty Young for you on how this seeding process works. We know there's a lot of people that have high interest in this.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were a couple coaches that come to the studio during that segment and sit there and wait for him to come off stage and ask a few questions, because I've spoken with a handful of coaches who all tell me the same thing. We don't know. We just know there's 9 things on the list.
It's crazy.
And we don't know how they weigh it. We just know just win games, win your district is your best shot at getting the best seed possible.
Okay, well, let's move here. 3 and out and a little friendly debate. Listen, I think this hits home for you, Charles, because deep down inside, you are a running Rebel fan. The New Mexico Lobos will try to break their 5-game skid in the Mountain West Conference. They'll host UNLV at 4 o'clock at Wise Pies Arena, a.k.a. The Pit.
Come on, man, why are you trying to call me out?
What is there to, well, for one, were you not rooting for the running Rebels when you were in high school?
But it's where you live now. So I live here. I will say this, though. My brother came here for Christmas break. We were hanging out, and he wore his Rebel sweatshirt. And we went to Costco. I thought we were going to have to get police escorted out of there because everyone's staring at us, talking about, hey, man,
don't lie to me. You know you love the Thomas and Mack. You would, hang
back in the day, it was a great venue. But now, I like the Pit. That's
UNLV comes in not playing well.
No. They lost last night.
Right, they lost again last night.
To Boise.
It was at UNLV, and it's always an ugly game. Always an ugly game with UNLV. But it's always an ugly game with New Mexico. New Mexico won round 1 at UNLV. These are probably 2 of the tumbling giants of the Mountain West Conference. Yeah. No one saw this coming, did you? Lobos at 7 and UNLV at 8th in the conference?
No one saw this. Both of them sitting at 14 and 12. They're practically tied because they both have 8 losses. So you're coming into this game playing for, not to play for the 8th seed, pretty much?
Whoever wins gets to play Nevada in the first round. That's a bonus.
I'll take my chances with that.
Right?
That's a toss-up. I'll take my chances with Nevada.
And then the winner of that most likely plays either Colorado State or Wyoming.
I'm going to give you great news, Lobo fans. So Rashad Vaughn, their scorer, out. He's been out for a while. Bad knee, just had surgery, matter of fact. So the talented freshman who's their lead scorer is out for UNLV. Christian Wood is still there, but there's no one else there. So you're playing a team that can't score. This is not a team that's going to come in and
put
up 60, 70 points. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
They have to win this game.
They have to win this game, but they will win this game.
Well, I'm curious. Is the crowd going to be there? I'm really
why not?
Lobo fan, show up. All right, this
Saturday, 4 o'clock, easy game.
This is when we find out where a Lobo fan is. Is he on the train just for Mountain West Conference wins, or is he going to be there for the game against UNLV for 7th and 8th in the conference? Pack that Pit. Prove that we are the best fan base that we think we are throughout this West Coast or part of the nation. I mean, we got to be top 10. We always talk about how great of a fan base we are.
This is when it
counts.
counts.
Show up and sell this Pit out because it is still important, right?
This is when it counts. This is when
you
show your loyalty to your program. It shows how much love you have for them. When it's down, you don't just jump off the boat. Remember, Carolina had a couple down years. They still were packing Chapel Hill. That's what you have to do when you're trying to build a prominent program. You still have to go out, support the kids, support the coaching staff or whatnot. But I think it's going to be packed. 4 o'clock game. It'll be 15,000 people there. I'm interested to see, will people travel to Vegas for the tournament?
You know what? It's Vegas. Everyone loves to go to Vegas anyway. Come on. Here's what I want to say, though, about having a down year. Something I heard that was interesting. Who's the national champion right now? The current national champion, defending national champion.
Kentucky.
It's UConn.
But they're having a terrible.
That's what I'm saying.
Year.
UConn just won the national championship. They're not going to be in the NCAA tournament. Syracuse, they self-inflicted themselves out of the NCAA tournament, but they weren't going to be in anyways. I'm just saying all these big programs have down years. It happens. So cool it.
We're okay. I'm not a panicking type. I just I roll with the season. I had to calm you down 2 weeks ago. He's good now.
No, but I don't.
He's not jumping off though.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Let's
Jay Poole says to move on. Let's move on. 3 and out, Charles. Let's get back to District 5 6A recap. I was shocked when I saw this. I couldn't believe Rio Grande beat Albuquerque High, and I just was shocked to see it. I thought Albuquerque High had to win the game, and they didn't. You were there. You know. I mean, talk us through
I thought they had – everyone knows that this was a big game for them. But then on the flip side, you knew it was a really big game for a Rio Grande team sitting there saying, wait a minute, we're right on the outskirts looking in. And I knew it was going to be a dangerous game. But this is what stood out the most to me about this game. The Bulldogs, the effort, it wasn't as intense as it normally is. This is a team that usually fight to the end. They fought a little bit, but there's a lot more jogging than normal than what I'm used to seeing. But Rio Grande, I'm not taking anything away from them because Mr. Cole Moore, he showed up. He dropped 30 on these guys. And the guy that no one knows about who became eligible January, Brian Ruiz, 6'5". My man had like 2 dunks in the game, ended with 20 points and about 15 rebounds. Trust me, he is hard to stop.
Maybe a scary team. Rio
And Jordan
Grande's.
Brooks, lights out quickness. This is a good team, man.
We talked about Rio Grande at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
We started to give them some credit because they're nailing down some wins. Then they had a huge slide going into district play. A week ago, we didn't think they were getting in.
Yeah.
Now they've pulled off 2 wins in their district. They will be in. So maybe a team to look after. On the other side of things here in the district, Charles, Etrisco Heritage, they're struggling to find consistency, whether it be it's a tough district, whether it be that the bench is not deep for Adrian Ortega. I don't know, but Etrisco loses. West Mesa picks up the win that they need to pick up for the second time against Etrisco Heritage.
Yeah, you have a West Mesa team playing how they should play. You need a key game, a crucial game, get the W. You have an Etrisco team where, as you mentioned, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of thing. We don't know what team's going to show up, and that's been the knock on West Mesa going towards district play. But, hey, they're sitting at 4 wins, 3 losses. They go into a Friday game where they can lock up the second place win, second place in the district, which will give them a home game, in my opinion. But you have an Etrisco team, as you mentioned, sliding. If they're done. They're 13-11 overall, 2-6 in that district. They could fall to 14-15.
This is what's
as far as seeding.
Crazy about this is Rio Grande does have 1 win against Etrisco Heritage. They split. If Rio Grande wins, if Rio Grande beats Valley somehow,
don't give it away, man. Don't give it away.
If they do that, Etrisco's going to finish last in their district, meaning Rio Grande has to be seeded above Etrisco Heritage, and then Coach Ortega's team not going to like the seed that they're going to get. It is going to be. Could you imagine from what we talked about, a team who made the semifinals of the Metro Tournament, now sliding to a 14-15 seed?
Well, yeah,
and that's what Cibola is doing too on the other side.
So you have a Cibola and a Etrisco team pretty much similar. It's just they're mirroring each other right now, where they were so hot, they were riding high, looking like they could take second, third in their district, even first if some things went their way. Now they're looking at it as they have to rely on a Rio Grande team to lose to Valley, and Rio
Valley
Grande
doesn't have anything to play for in that game,
You're
by
right.
the way.
That's the key.
That's
right there.
what's big. Come on back.
Seeding.
More 3 and Out when we return. You're watching uSports Central.